Hello worlds, and boy do we got something special to kick off this episode with. You want to know one of the reasons I love BattleTech and MechWarrior? Because even after 30 years, there's still new stuff. That is so cool. And the other thing too is some of this new stuff is like absolute bonkers good. And wow, like this whole story about this assassin mech went. Okay, so I'm just floating around Industrial Hub, shopping, and I see, oh, rare mech, okay. Let's take a look at it, and it's an assassin. And at first I'm like, ugh, an assassin, because, bro, I knew what an assassin was since like 1994. It was junk then. I was assuming this was going to be junk now, But just partly the one thing that caught my eye was it said ASN-99, and I was like, wait a minute, if I remember right, the assassins all had early 20s numbers, like 21, 22, 23 kind of stuff, I don't think there actually was a 22, but I am absolutely dead certain there's the original model was the 21, and there was some minor refit that was Introtech based too that was called the 23. But fact of the matter is the assassin it's a recon mech, and it's a recon mech through and through, and it's just not made for any kind of fighting. But when I seen 27, I was like, okay, this is new. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh my god, this actually makes sense. And, yeah, I decided to, try it out, and here we are. So I'm gonna kind of turn this into a little, like, mini tech debrief kind of deal, because what I learned after buying this thing and, running it once or twice in instant action and, just looking up exactly what it is and where it came from kind of stuff. This thing is a heck of a story. So I'm going to start off with the original base model assassin, right? The 21 everyone knows, alright? Now, in case you're not already aware, the assassin is a bad mech on more levels than just one, okay? This thing is got some definite handicap issues. According to the fluff, alright, this was basically kind of a Star League pork project, basically. This mech wasn't even really asked for by anyone. Maltex just figured, hey, we can make it, why not, And of course the Star League, they just bought everything and anything, I swear to God. That's probably another reason for the collapse, but that's a whole nother debate. Anyway, so they make this first turd, the 21, and it was exactly that. Alright, you got a 40-ton medium mech, and it's barely got any more firepower than a decent light mech. I mean, guys, fact of the matter is, this thing is outgunned by Panthers, usually. Alright, seriously, not a problem. Even urban mechs are an issue for this guy. Like, they can run and get away from it and stuff like that, but one-on-one combat, believe it or not, the urban mechs got good odds. The urban mechs actually got good odds, and I'll explain to you why. The weapons layout. Okay? You got an LRM-5, an SRM-2, and a humble medium laser. That is it. Okay, and you got 1 ton of ammo for both, which actually isn't bad. That's probably more than what one mission's gonna take, but it's by no means something that you could drop planet side and do 3 missions and not have to worry about ammo bins running dry kind of thing. The second issue was the build quality of this mech. It was very, very not put together well. Matter of fact, in the quirk section, it's hampered by the extremely cramped cockpit rule, and it's also hit with a non-standard parts rule, which is kind of weird, especially being that it's counterbalanced by the easy to maintain. But it's like, you know, why is this even a thing? And the cramped cockpit quirk, that actually negatively affects your piloting skill rolls. That adds a modifier of like +1 or 2 sometimes. But anyway, between lackluster firepower, bad quirks, and the fact that really movement profile wise, that's the only thing where this thing succeeds, is because it's actually got a movement profile very similar to a spider, but it's like, what was the freaking point? It barely outguns the spider, and truth be told, mathematically, think about this. LRM 5 points of damage, SRM 2 gives you 4 points of damage, and the medium laser gives you 5. Alright, so 9, 5, 14. Okay, you could do up to 14 points of damage. But here's the problem. Most of that is with missile launchers, and not every missile is going to make it every time. And that's why this mech was so easily outgunned by certain other designs, like the Urban Mech and the Panther. Both of those mechs got guns that can dish out one 10-point blow. And on a light mech and some of the lighter end medium mechs, that's a harsh hit to take. That's instant armor gone. In one of my last episodes, I was in my crab and I shot an assassin, not a 21 version, in the back center torso, and my PPC almost cored it in one hit. I mean, think about that. So, when I seen this, and I seen the weapons layout, and I was like, alright, break time. And I hop on Sarna, and I start digging around, right? So, what the 27 is Piranha's take on the board game issue ASN-99 that came out roughly around the clan invasion time. Actually, no, I think around the Jihad time. Oh my god. I'm kind of shooting this off the hip, so please forgive any inaccuracies. It's not like I actually sat down and wrote a script like for this. I'm actually doing that for another project, and when that comes out, you'll definitely see the fruits of that labor. Anyways. Target acquired. So, the ASN-99 was this weird one-off. Maltex licensed the design to Hellas Point. Now, this was like right around the end of the Jihad, apparently, and Maltex was in deep doo-doo because they were doing a very good job of feeding parts and stuff to the Word of Blake. And obviously, post-Jihad, nobody liked Comstar. Man, the Jihad is my favorite era to play. Like, how bad you gotta screw up. You even got Clan Greenbird and Dogpark to join forces against you. How do you screw up that bad? How? It's actually not that hard, especially if you're an evil entity like Comstar. But anyways, so Maltex was trying to basically draw up as much cash as they could on the fly to cover mounting legal expenses, and they sold the rights of the design to an outfit called Hellespont. Now, just a heads up, there is one other canonical manufacturer of the Assassin, and that's Defiance. They made a really, it's weird because it says that it didn't do too well, but they made a oh god, I forget the number, but they made an assassin Defiance during the FedCom Civil War that basically ripped out the missile launchers. I think it made an end-of-steel skeleton for it, and they took all the weight savings and invested it into an LB-5X, which isn't great, but not bad, but kind of like WTF, because you just can't cut your damage potential in half. And I mean, yeah, you got great range, and no minimum modifier, but still, the original setup still could have potentially done the same amount of damage, basically, in most circumstances. So, Hellespont, when they got rights to the design, they also received a gift drop, and that gift drop was a prototype, and it was called the ASN-99. Now, the ASN-27 that I'm piloting right now is basically that mech. What happened was, I have no idea, but somebody at Piranha said, hey, the assassin needs help. And they took the 99, they backed the light PPC up to a standard PPC, took the stealth armor off, it kept the ECM and the tag, kept the twin SRM2s, went back to normal armor, and has the same XL engine, and that's actually about it. So basically just by shifting the weights around, they were able to field refit a Jihad era mech and make it work in pseudo intro tech period, because let's be real, it is an Inner Sphere Tech XL, so in theory it could have survived, you know, all this time up until the Renaissance, but guys, I gotta come out and say it, they fixed it. They legit fixed this mech. In tabletop, it does astoundingly better than the original too. And it's because it basically they pantherized it. I mean, I ain't gonna pull any punches here. And that was another thing that caught my eye, because I do actually love the Panther mech. There was a weird few times at the local game shop when I was a kid where I was actually playing House Curita against House Steiner, because it was like the kind of Rasselhawk stuff, and FedCom Civil War had just happened, and I was really mad at the X, you know? So whenever it came up, you know, oh yeah, I'll give Steiner an op for it. But yeah, this thing is just a absolute beast of a reconnaissance mech, and as I'm showing you with its first time out, it is an absolute phenom at the reconnaissance mech job. And here's the cool part. This is the first time I've ever actually wanted to be in an assassin, because this thing can totally throw down. I mean, if this thing goes toe-to-toe with a Panther, it actually has a better chance than the Panther. The movement profile it has just turns this thing into like a clan issue Panther. And it's just a nightmare to hunt down and, yeah, engage with, especially for Panther, because it's like going up against a literal dead clone of itself, but this clone has twice the speed, twice the jump, and ECM. So, yeah, this is the first time I'm ever gonna say there is a good assassin, and that is such a cool thing to say in my life. Because I never thought there was going to be a good one. I never did. And I gotta admit, the design was just so trash for most of my career as a mech warrior. I never really paid much attention to it till I seen this one. And wow, yeah. It really, really is noteworthy. And I'm also gonna throw this statement out too about the issue of canonology. I think some people need to get off their high horse, because fact of the matter is Microsoft was in the door before Catalyst was even thought of. Okay? That is legit. Alright? Fact of the matter is there's been MechWarrior PC games going all the way back to almost the very beginning. I mean, Crescent Hawk Inception did not drop that far behind 2nd edition, if I remember correctly. So, my personal approach is FOSSA actually wanted to share this, alright? I think they wanted to share it because BattleTech, let's look at just the name itself, alright? Tech, alright? This is a high-tech game, alright? And yeah, in the early 80s, late 80s, okay, all we had was, for games really, was, you know, board games. We were still really getting MS-DOS figured out. And the handful of games that were around, you know, in the mid-80s, I mean, you're talking about Oregon Trail kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, for Crescent Hawk to do what it did, and also the fact that later on down the line, it was really acknowledged and embraced by FOSSA that yes, we have roots in our board game, and we don't ever want to forget our roots, because that's where we came from, and as soon as you forget where you came from, you lose all sense of direction, you know? But they also understood the need for this game to be spread so it could survive, so it could possibly flourish, alright? And the fact that this game has such the dedicated fan base that it has, and it's been going on for literally, technically, not even technically, I think officially 40 years straight. I mean, anybody seen the coffee mug in the Christmas shop at Catalyst earlier this year? Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry, but if it comes from a genuine Microsoft source or a genuine Catalyst source, because rest in peace, Conveo de Dios, FOSSA, I will never forget your name, but you are no longer with us, but your baby is alive and well and has two great parents that are making him grow more and more day by day. So, yeah, I really think a lot of people need to get off their high horse, and I would actually, because of the work that Piranha's done to actually make stuff fit the canon, that kind of respect, I think, should be reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? They tried, they made it fit, and it is an awesome mech, and honestly, I can't wait to see more from them, and honestly, I kind of want to go on Mega Mech Lab and yeah, make a record sheet and play this bad boy in Mega Mech. Just to give the Princess AI a whole new, oh god, not another bonsai weapons development program. But yeah, I was genuinely and pleasantly amazed at the sight of this thing. And I gotta admit, there's so many mechs, and I have a real life, and I can't be doing this stuff all the time. But I'm always open to learning new stuff, seeing new stuff, trying new stuff, especially for this franchise. And yeah, this thing is gold. Like, seriously, whoever came up with this idea, give that kid a raise, maybe a promotion. But yeah, I never thought I would actually be excited to be driving an assassin battle mech, but God bless you, Piranha, you did it. And that's kind of why I wanted to make this episode. The assassin is a really maligned mech. I mean, it was just a crap show from the get-go. And nobody ever really did anything or addressed it. And the only people that ever would are at-home tuners, you know? But at the same time, running custom mechs, if you take them to an actual campaign with the whole strategic ops rules, and we got time, and we got to fix stuff in between assignments and crap like that, it becomes a huge, huge burden to bring those kinds of pieces with, because unless they fall in the field refit category, it's not going to be fun. Your repair times are doubled or tripled or quadrupled. Your cost is, 50%, 75%, 200%, who knows higher. It depends a lot. You got an A through F parts availability thing, A through F technology based kind of thing. It is a cluster when you bring custom mechs to a tournament. So if you do, it better be something definitely worth having and definitely special. And please have a tactical plan B in case that thing gets blown up, because wow. Yeah, it's gonna hurt losing that, so you want to be ready for it if it happens. Ooh. Alright. So, what else can I say about this mech? I'm gonna introduce y'all to a little bit of cryptomechology. Nah, I'll save that for another time. But anyway, yes, there is actually one good assassin out there, folks. The ASN-99. If you want a recon mech or a great light mech hunter, this is definitely peak medium mech shenanigans, legitimately. And definitely worth the buy. Piranha, great job with that. Seriously, guys. Ooh, look at all that loot. Look at all that loot. Woo! I just came up with a name for this mech. I'ma call it the Great Malenko. And if anybody remembers Insane Clown Posse, yes, that's where I'm getting it from. Because it's a mother effing assassin! Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the change in pace, and I'll see you next episode. Peace.